Welcome back. How you doing so far? We're halfway through the scorecard because we've got our competencies defined. Now, I want to tell you up front that this is the most squishy part of the Recruit Rockstars process, but it's probably the most important, so stick with me. I promise we'll get through it together. In order to be successful in the role, the candidate, of course, has to be a match for the job, but also they must match the soul of your company. And so many companies ignore this. They just hire willy-nilly, and then they wonder why their culture is such a mishmash of personalities. It's like a bunch of people who speak different languages. And if you're serious about recruiting rock stars and building amazing culture, you've got to get this right. So the rookie mistake is to focus only on a candidate's title and company, industry experience, education, things that aren't really predictive of anything. Now, DNA is highly predictive because it's how someone is hardwired, and that determines their behavior and their performance on the job. Obviously, skills and competencies are important too, and we talked about those in the last module, but without the right DNA, those skills are largely useless. So what is DNA? You're familiar with the DNA in each of our cells that determines our height, your eye color, my hairline. In much the same way, we each have qualities that are hardwired very early. In fact, psychologists say that by age 8, we are the person that we're going to become. So it's vital to assess those things. And frankly, if we get that wrong, the body will reject the cell. Your company will make it very clear that we've made a mishire. And that's a great thing, because it means that you've got a clear and tightly defined DNA in your company. But we want to avoid that mishire in the first place. Now, DNA is very different than culture, which is about fun and teamwork and ping pong tables and beer bashes on Fridays. And in 25 years of recruiting executives, I still haven't found a way to interview for culture fit. And I don't mean we like him, he'd be a great fit here. That's not important. DNA is what the people in an organization hold dear. The behaviors that are tolerated and expected, and what's not, what makes us tick. And if you're lucky, you've worked in one or two companies in your entire life just like that, because they're pretty rare. But if you have, you know what I'm talking about. It's magical, it's unstoppable. Herb Kelleher, who founded Southwest Airlines, put it best: hire for attitude and train for skill. And that's exactly what he did for mechanics, for pilots, for flight attendants. You can't change DNA. You can't train for it. You can't teach it. It just is. Candidates have a DNA, and your company has a DNA, and we're going to look for that match. Now, each company has a very different DNA, so don't try to copy and paste. This is not an aspiration where you say, well, this company is great and they're doing well, so we're going to copy their DNA. It doesn't work that way. You develop your own DNA over time as a function of the people that you recruit. So it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. That would be like copying and pasting a profile on a dating website. At large companies, even different divisions may have different DNA, so you really got to be attuned to this. And I'm going to walk you through how to do it. Now, one last thing. I'm not talking about hiring clones or friends. I've banned my clients from saying things like, I really liked him. You got to be specific. We want and crave diversity. People that value the same things and are wired very much the same way, but they can be from all different sorts of backgrounds, different genders, ethnicities, etc. They hold the same things dear. They value the same things. So your homework for this lesson is just to start to think about your company. Again, this is simple, but not easy. What do you think your company's DNA actually is? And I'm not talking about the values that are hanging on the wall of your lobby. I want you to start making some notes. Don't worry about getting it right yet. I just want to get you to start observing. Think about people in your company. What are the DNA? In the next lesson, I'll help you refine it. I'll see you there.